Eye on Gauteng, brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Economic Development.
The Sansui Summer Cup, Joburg's premier horse racing and fashion event 2012, proudly hosted by Gauteng, was launched in style recently at the city's popular venue, Randlords, in line with the announcements of their 2012 theme.
The Sansui Summer Cup was relaunched in 1999, pretty much with the intention of giving the existing clientele something to look forward to on an annual basis, and at the same time at harvesting new people to the sports of racing, and we believe we've achieved that over the last decade or so.
What the Sansui Summer Cup aims to do is give Cape Town and Durban horse racing events a run for their money. The Gauteng Tourism Board is jumping through hoops to ensure that this cup will be the leading sporting event that all South Africans look forward to in the next couple of years.
Our strategy is to take one event and grow it in such a way that it becomes a week entertainment. For example, when it comes to Sansui, most people arrive in the province from Thursday, and then from Thursday we've got major entertainment of different things. We'll sometimes take them to like fashion shows on Thursday, and then Friday it becomes a night in Soweto or any other event that is there, and then Saturday it becomes the races, Sunday it becomes maybe Cullinan mines, or it becomes the game reserve, or they go to Marupeng to the Cradle of Humankind. So it becomes much more entertainment than the races themselves.
The Cup is the oldest and most respected horse racing event hosted at the Terfontein Racecourse, and now it enjoys the new sport on the entertainment calendar. Saturday, 1st December 2012. The Sansui Summer Cup is gunning for the slice in the entertainment cake. It seeks to divert the attention from the coastal shores to inland borders, promising them nothing but the best entertainment this December.
It's right on your doorstep, and you're able to be, without incurring any more expense, enjoy a fabulous evening or afternoon out with your partner, with your family, with perhaps if you're in the corporate environment with your clients. And that's pretty much what's unique about the Sansui Summer Cup, is that it happens right here in Gauteng, and there's no need to travel further out.
Will this event achieve its goal to bring Gautengers back into Gauteng during this festive season?
The reality is that in Cape Town, the people that are rocking Cape Town are Joburgers. When you're in Durban for the July, the people that are rocking Durban are the Joburgers. I mean, right now we're saying, come December time, Joburg is the place to be. Are you with me?
Now joining me in studio to discuss the state of horse racing in the Gauteng province is Baba Gaughanediwe, spokesperson for the Gauteng Tourism Authority, and Larry Weinstein, CEO of the Racing Association. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks very much.
Baba, let's start with you. Now, from the insert, we've seen that the Sansui Summer Cup is a premier attraction for the Gauteng province. Now, as home of one of the big three races in South Africa, how big an economic role does horse racing actually play for Gauteng?
It's quite a significant contribution to the economy. You know that Gauteng doesn't only rely on the mining sector, it's one of the old economic sector. We have moved significantly in the creative sector, and horse racing forms part of that mix of positioning the competitive city region as one of the leading global competitive city region that looks at the creative sector as one of its key pillars. So it amounts to millions and millions of rands in the industry, not just horse racing, but other aspects related to horse racing. We've seen how affluent urban cities like Johannesburg have embraced, you know, the growth of sports like polo that ultimately forms the whole equestrian life. And Johannesburg in particular has a concentration, one of the highest concentration of equestrian and horses and breeding that happens here. And we're quite excited that this is moving, and this also assists us to further position the destination to export. Not only the sport, but the property itself and horses amidst the challenges of a disease that are associated with animals. But as the province, we are looking at harnessing that and making it our competitive advantage.
Speaking of competitive advantage, Larry, you represent the Racing Association. It comprises of owners and former racing club members. Now, which is the creme event? We've spoken about Gauteng positioning itself, but it's competing with, you know, the JNB Met, the Vodacom July. Which is the most aspirational for owners to take part in, or is it actually about the prize money?
It's not really, because the other two events which you mentioned, the JMB Met and the Durban July, has had such a long tradition, and the sponsors that have been with it have been, the JMB Met has had sponsored for 30 years. So the Summer Cup hasn't had that the opportunity to be sponsored by the same sponsor for that amount of time and to grow the event. But Sansui have come along, and for the last 5 years, and with the help of Gauteng province, they have now started to embark on making it aspirational. And the big thing, those two we're competing with, but over the last 3 years, slowly but surely we're getting there.
It just takes some time. Now, Larry, the industry is still focused a lot on perceptions. It's of course known as the sport of kings, and events like the Sansui, it's all about the glitz and glamour. But is this realistic? From a horse owner and a horse trainer and a racing association perspective, is it as glamorous behind the scenes to actually get your knees and hands dirty into the sport?
There's no doubt it comes with a lot of challenges, but it's not about, it is all about the sport and the passion to own a horse. Because I have to say at the outset, to think you're coming, people believe that racing is this, is the industry that it brings you big wealth, and it's not the case. It really is a costly sport, but it's all about the passion and the love of the horse. And if you're thinking of coming to own a horse because you're going to make money, I advise against that, because there are plenty challenges that face a horse owner, and it's all about the passion and the love of the sport.
You mentioned love of the sport. Now, sporting in South Africa is going through a transformational process. In my intro, I mentioned that horse racing, specifically in Gauteng, went through quite a transformation in 1998. And I just have to use this quote here: to create a transparent, accountable, professionally managed, governed and profit-driven enterprise with appropriate BEE credentials. 14 years on, are we on the right track, so to speak, to meet these goals?
We are moving steadily there, but much more can still be done. And Gauteng's involvement, for example, in the Sansui Summer Cup, it's been running for almost as old as Johannesburg, and this is our second year of participation, primarily to make sure that we engender a way in which the sporting event, horse racing, and the circuit in particular can be open and attractive to a variety of races in the country. You know, Gauteng is the melting pot. You have all races, you have all nationalities, especially from the continent. And part of our drive is to position the Summer Cup as Africa's prelim gauge, where everybody comes in. So it's not just a domestic event that rivals Durban or Cape Town, but our vision as the province to solidify our standing as a globally competitive city region is to have this as Africa's pilgrimage. Like I've said, we are looking at horse owners from as far as Nigeria, Angola, coming to Gauteng and supporting the love for the game, the love for the sports. But most importantly for us, it's an economic activity. It puts us in line with other major financial hubs like your Hong Kong, like your Singapore, like your Melbourne, which has premier horse racing events that are linked to the town. But like I was saying, so this is part of our effort. We have started making sure that we attract the urban black into horse racing. We know that they are aspiring, they are looking at the destination as an inspirational destination. Like I've said, we have started seeing the emergence of sports like polo, which is the game of queens and kings,
royalty, yes.
Royalty within that whole equestrian and mix. And urban blacks have started moving in there. And it's a way in which you encourage transformation, you engender transformation in the sports, but most importantly, making sure that it adds into the growth of the economy. Gauteng needs to find the new gold. And the new gold in Gauteng is the creative sector industry. We have the right skills, we have the right technology, the right infrastructure. Look at the broadcast industry here, and you link that broadcast industry and the skills and the sports, you have a perfect combination, and that's what makes us excited about growing the sport and having it contribute to economy, and most importantly, transforming the landscape of sports in the country.
All right, transformation. The concept hasn't been immune to scrutiny. We've seen the rise of the black horse owner and black horse breeder, but we've also seen some issues. Example, Pindi Kema, who is currently embattled, we won't go into the details, but with the Gauteng government, citing discrimination and also barrier to entry into the sport. When we hear of issues like these, are we really creating a level playing field like we're aspiring to, or are we still a long way off?
I have to say we're a long way off, because it all comes down to costs and the money that is put in. People look at racing, and the owners contribute a large portion of money into the sport, but aren't getting their returns. So if you look at the industry from a point of transformation as far as jockeys goes, we're way above the quota. We've done very well on that. If you look at, if you start looking at owners, very poor because of the cost again. You can't force somebody to come in and pay. We can't subsidize the buying of horses and the training fees. From a training point of view too, you have to, the owner has to give the trainer a horse, and there has been some projects where they've tried to get it started, but obviously the trainer gives it, the owner gives it to the trainer who trains the horse. We're trying to do a lot to encourage owners to support the transformation of trainers, but it takes time. It's all about money. We're battling to survive, and I promise you, people look at racing and think, all they look at is the stakes money for the July and the Summer Cup, and they say 3 million rand, 2 million rand. But if you look, that owners contribute in excess of 600 million a year. That's just on buying horses. That's not to keep the veterinary bills, and you race for 300 million. Doesn't make sense. Business sense. No business person would go into racing and say, well, what is this about? So it's very difficult. But as we're going along, we're bringing people in, and we're educating. It's all about education. We had a Jockeys International, which epitomizes the sport. It's the one meeting where the jockeys ride as teams. And out of the, we have 7 in our team, and 2 of them are from previously disadvantaged backgrounds. So if you look at the numbers, percentage-wise, if you look at any other sport, percentage-wise, we're way above what anyone. And if we could do more, we will. I mean, we have the Grooms Academy that James Marie runs, where people can come in to become a jockey from just being a groom and become a work rider, and then get into the jockeys ranks. And they have, the grooms have races every month. They have at least one race on the card. So we're getting there, and I think there's a lot still to do, but it all takes money, and that's where we are struggling, because we don't have the money, and the way that it's structured, where we get our prize money from is from betting. So if people don't bet, our prize money goes down. So how do you...
It's all about balance.
It's all about balance. Every other sport in the country, people pay to see their sport on the TV. Racing has to pay everyone else to watch us. So now, how does it work? If we could change the model, suddenly our sport would grow. And the other challenge we face, and I mean from transformation and all that, we come from a betting background, and everybody believes racing is all about the bet. And we've had to, over the last couple of years, change that, because now every sport's about betting, not just horse racing. But we started as the betting sport, if you can call it that. And we were governed by legislation and not by a sporting body. So we've had to change all of that and the perceptions. And you talk about what's going on politically. You know, people have a right to question, but over time, I think if you look at where we've come from and what's done, I think we've done very well. We're not there yet. We've just got to keep working hard at it. That's all.
Chuck, day by day. Barbara, right after the break, I'm going to get your opinion on that. We're going to a quick break. More on Eye on Gauteng when we return. Stay tuned.